What's up guys, my name is James, and in today's video I want to talk about booking.com, and I specifically want to talk about some of the downsides of booking.com and what I think is the best strategy for hosts who want to get more bookings and more revenue on their listings. Whether that's someone who is managing their own listing, you're a host of your own property, or whether you want to start managing other people's properties and you want to learn how you can maximize the income of those properties, the number of bookings and the dollar value of those bookings, so that number one, you can provide more value to your clients, and number two, you can earn higher management fees on each one of the properties that you manage. There's a couple key tips that I'm going to share with you in this training video, here. So hopefully this is really valuable to you. If it is, then click the like button. Please do me a favor and just click that like button. It really helps you out with YouTube's algorithm. And if you want to learn more about everything involved with optimizing properties and managing other people's properties on Airbnb, then just check out the links down in the description below. There's some free training that I've linked to down there as well. That'll be really, really valuable and a lot more in depth than this video. And so to start off with, let's talk about booking.com. Now, historically on booking.com, one of the biggest disadvantages of using booking.com as a platform over Airbnb or VRBO HomeAway was that you had to process your own payments. What I mean by this is that a guest would book a property and submit their credit card details that you would then need to go and put into a payment processor like Stripe or Square to be able to actually run that credit card and collect that money. Now, that is a problem for a number of reasons. For most hosts, this is a really big issue just because number one, they don't have any kind of payment processor actually set up. Now you have to remember, booking.com was built around hotels, and so hotels prefer to do it that way so they could run the transactions through their own merchant processing account, or oftentimes just run the charge when the client actually shows up, when the guest actually shows up at the property and is ready to check in. Now for home sharing, it doesn't work that way, obviously. There's no one at the property to charge that guest card or to verify that that card is actually legitimate and that it's owned by them, collect the driver's license, things like that. And so not only is it a real hassle for hosts from an administration point of view, but it's also a really big hassle from a standpoint of protecting against any kind of fraud. I can speak from my own personal experience that using booking.com as a short-term rental host was an absolute nightmare. The amount of fraudulent credit cards that were used to book properties that we managed was astronomical. It just is never something that happens with Airbnb because you as a host never have to deal with that. Whereas with booking.com, it's a really great, easy way for people to test out stolen credit cards, fake credit cards, and the like. And the problem is, a lot of the time, these charges are going to go through initially, and then you're going to be stuck high and dry when they get reported back as fraud and the money gets taken out of your account. Now that's a really big issue, and so booking.com has released and started to roll out payment processing for some listings, which is nice. However, you unfortunately cannot have them collect a security deposit from your guests, meaning that if a guest does cause any damages to your property, you're going to be high and dry unless you collect the security deposit yourself. There's a couple other factors, a couple other kind of issues with their payment processing that just essentially mean that it's nowhere near where Airbnb's is in terms of the ease of use and the protection that you have as a host of your own property. So for that reason, if you're looking to expand over to other booking platforms in order to grow your revenue, get more eyeballs on your property, I highly recommend that you think twice before expanding out to booking.com. And the reality is that a lot of different platforms out there all have different nuances, different unique things about them that you need to know in order to expand out to them. And the other reality is that most of your bookings are still going to come from booking.com on most properties. There are some properties that are better suited for VRBO. Typically, those are larger family units. There are some units that are better suited towards booking.com, more hotel-like units. But for the majority of hosts and the majority of properties, you're going to find that the majority of your bookings will come from Airbnb. So whatever platform you're on right now, I would recommend as a first step when you're looking to optimize your bookings, maximize the revenue coming from that listing, the first thing to do before expanding onto multiple different platforms and complicating your life unnecessarily is to really, really double down and optimize on the property that you are listed on. Whether that's VRBO, Airbnb, or if you are currently set up on booking.com and having good success there, and you've got the systems nailed down to be able to use it even with its disadvantages, then I highly recommend taking the time to really understand how that platform's algorithm works and how you can better optimize your property for success on that platform. Now, we've got a ton of great videos on this channel here that talk about the specifics of how to optimize a property on Airbnb. And really it comes down to just understanding their algorithm, understanding how to properly price your listing, and understanding how to set it up so that guests are going to be attracted to click it and that it shows up high in the search results and they ultimately end up booking. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that you can learn in order to optimize it. And from my experience, that is going to provide you with much better results than simply trying to expand out to another platform. And it's going to do it without a lot of the headache. So again, if you want more in-depth training on exactly what I mean when I say optimizing a listing, optimizing, when I talk about optimizing your pricing, getting the highest dollar value for your bookings, then just check out the links down below to the free training that we have that walk you through those things step by step by step. Now, for anyone managing properties or anyone looking to start managing properties for other people on Airbnb, this is the skill of all skills. This is how you're going to be able to provide enough value to your property owners that they're going to want to stick around with you long term for several years into the future. Because the truth is, if you're able to really master this skill of optimizing performance on Airbnb and other booking platforms, that is where you're then able to go and take a property and increase its performance by so much that you're virtually paying for yourself in managing the property. Now we've gotten to the point where all of our systems are so dialed in, and the systems that we teach in our trainings that are linked down below are so dialed in that if they're applied properly, you can go into 90% of all hosts on short-term rental platforms and take their listing up by 10, 20, 30%, so you can easily charge a 20% management fee and still have the property owner netting just as much as they were before you were managing or more. That is a real win-win. Now the value proposition is that they're going to save time and make just as much money or more than they were before you managing. And that's how we create a real long-term win-win with our clients and create a business that really has longevity. So again, if you want to check that out and learn more about the exact steps that go into that, then I highly recommend checking out the trainings that are linked down below. And if you got value from this video, then please take a quick half a second and click that like button down the bottom right-hand corner. That helps me out tremendously with YouTube's algorithm. So if you could take a half a second and just click that like button, it would mean a lot to me and really help me out. Also, if you're new to the channel here and you want to stay up to date with the new videos we post twice every single week, then just click that subscribe button there. You'll subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified when we post new videos twice every single week, so you can keep up to date with us and keep learning along with us. I hope all is well, and I will see you in the next video.